how well do you think you know your favorite football stars? You might be tempted to say you know them very well, especially if you have followed their careers from the very beginning. Well, you have to believe me when I tell you there is a lot you do not know about your favorite football stars. There is a lot more to professional footballers than just stats. These are crazy stories of football players. Samuel Eto'o bought a cursed house. If you have always thought that cursed houses were limited to stories and movies, you might have to think again. They are as real as the best goals scored by some of the world's most prolific strikers. Former Barcelona and Cameroonian forward Samuel Eto'o scored some of the best goals in Spain. Also, he has lived in a haunted house, so he can tell you just how real they are. It all began in 2015 when Eto'o bought a mansion for $25 million. One might say he had no need to buy a new house. However, the man had an amazing career, and maybe getting a new house was just the best way to celebrate his success. If the price tag associated with this house is anything to go by, then you can tell it came with the best of everything. Samuel's mansion featured a swimming pool, about 40 rooms, and ample space for a party. Although the house seemed great by all standards, it was just the wrong purchase. Just maybe the Cameroonian would have invested his money in something else if he had done his due diligence. Some people warned Eto'o that the house used to belong to an archaeologist and it was cursed. However, he did not take things seriously. He began living in this house only for him to run out of the country after living in this house for some weeks. Escobar's murder. Unfortunately, he couldn't live to tell the stories of the mistake, as it literally cost him his life. Just like every footballer, Escobar went on to play at the World Cup, but things did not exactly go according to plan. He played as a defender and was supposed to keep goals from getting into the net. He did the exact opposite. He appeared he was marked for a hit. The entire Colombian team returned to Colombia and life went on. However, it appeared some drug lords probably lost a bet because of Andreas' own goal. So one day, when he was chilling with friends, he got murdered. Modric's rough childhood. Although no fault of his really, Escobar was considered a disappointment to his country after scoring an own goal at the World Cup. Amazingly, Modric is the exact opposite. The Madrid legend came from very humble beginnings and has made everyone proud. Things were not always rosy for Modric as a child. He was born in the middle of a war and had to begin living with his grandpa as his parents couldn't afford to really take care of him. Modric soon lost his grandpa to the war. Although this loss was devastating, he turned it into a motivation to become one of the best players on the planet. Modric's grandpa's death made him focus on becoming a professional footballer, and it is common knowledge that he is a very accomplished sportsman. Baggio refuses to take a penalty. Long before Ronaldo became a trusted penalty taker, Baggio reigned as one of the best penalty takers of his time. However, he once refused to take a penalty. When looked at on the surface, one might assume he was insubordinate. However, that was not the issue. He was only being emotional and loyal. Baggio once played for Fiorentina. He also went on to play for Juventus. Although this was a good move for him, Fiorentina fans were not happy and went on to riot. Well, this did not stop Baggio from leaving. While playing for Juventus, Baggio was called upon to play a penalty. However, he turned it down. Pelé once had to search for a lucky shirt. Speaking of players that had a reputation for carrying their teams, Pelé once had to search for his lucky shirt after giving it out to a fan. Although Pelé is considered one of the best of all time, he once had to deal with a dip in form. He got so worried that he had his friend search for a fan that he gave his lucky shirt to. With the return of the shirt came a return of the player's form. Amazingly, the shirt that got returned was not his lucky shirt. So his dip in form had nothing to do with his missing lucky shirt, it was all in his mind. Carra once paid £40,000 in exchange for one coin. If you know a thing or two about the value of money, then you are certain that a coin is nothing like £40,000. Regardless of this, Liverpool's Carra once had to pay £40,000 after he was hit by a coin. This payment was actually not made because a coin hit him. On the contrary, he had to pay £40,000 because he threw the coin back at the fan. One could say that the punishment was a bit excessive. However, the English FA was simply looking to ensure that the fans felt safe in the stadiums. Beer was used as a reward. Carragher's action came with a weighty consequence. This might make some football fans focus on the negatives of football. However, beyond consequences, there are also rewards for actions. That's if they are positive. In addition to being great for helping players feel valued, sometimes rewards can be a source of motivation to get the best out of players. That was exactly what a company was looking to achieve when it offered to supply the Austrian player to get the nation's first goal at Euro 2008 beer for the rest of his life. With this offer, many assumed that there would be a competition to score goals. However, it did not turn out that way. As a matter of fact, there was really no competition for this prize, as Austria just got one goal in this tournament, and this goal was scored by Ivica Vastic. It's okay to assume that Ivica Vastic will never have to visit a bar to have some beer, as all the beer he will ever need will be supplied to him right at home. Terry pees in public. It's good to be comfortable. However, sometimes people take the idea of being comfortable too far, and when they do this, they end up being involved in nasty things. This was exactly what happened when former Chelsea captain John Terry and his friend decided to pee in public. Although John Terry was not the only person that is tempted peeing in public in a nightclub, it turned out that he chose the wrong time for this. It was 2005, and Terry was about to become the captain of the English national team. Well, he did not seem to care about this when he made up his mind to do some public peeing. Things could have continued without any drama. Unfortunately, the former Chelsea captain was caught peeing on camera. The video that later went viral showed Terry peeing into a pint glass. Although this action had no effect on his form, it was not good for his image as the captain of one of the biggest clubs in Europe. Ronaldo's sex scandal. Speaking of well-respected players being involved in situations that are bad for their careers, Ronaldo once found himself in a sex scandal that no one on the planet would be comfortable in unless they are probably gay. In 2008, former Brazilian striker Ronaldo decided he wanted to spend the night with 3 prostitutes. Although this did not seem like a very nice thing to do, it really was his business. He was free to do as he wished. The Brazilian had just undergone a surgery and was recovering, so he felt one of the best ways to relax was to pass the night in a motel with 3 prostitutes. When it was time to finally have some fun, the Brazilian discovered that the prostitutes were not females but males. He did not stop at merely complaining that the prostitutes were not females, he also complained about them stealing from it. Although the prostitutes were supposed to be on the defensive, they accused the former Madrid striker of using drugs. Finally, no one got into trouble as there was no proof any of them broke any law. One player received 3 yellow cards in one match. At number 1, we have one of the craziest football stories of all time. This story involved Josip Simanic of Croatia and Graham Poll, an English referee. Croatia. The match was intense and a number of players got punished. This was not a problem in any way. However, in the midst of these various warnings, which of these stories do you think is the craziest and what could have been done differently? Please let us know what you think in the comment section below. Furthermore, click on the like and share buttons if you are yet to do so. Also, subscribe to this channel to see more videos like this.